here to share with us the truth about the obesity epidemic. Please welcome Dr. Heidi Limbrunner.
According to the media, our nation is getting fatter. Stand in any grocery line, checkout line, and you'll notice magazines promoting the latest weight loss craze or diet. Newsweek, Time, and other major magazines have focused solely on obesity and childhood obesity in America as their cover story. First Lady Michelle Obama has talked very openly about childhood obesity. If you listen to the media, our nation's getting fatter, our children are getting fatter, and yes, even our pets are getting fatter. So what's the solution to this epidemic? Some ideas have been weight loss surgery for children, diets, or perhaps we need more prevention and intervention efforts, such as giving children a grade based upon their height and their weight, or having separate lines in school cafeterias, one for those kids that are overweight and one for kids that are normal weight. I don't see these as solutions, and the point of my talk tonight is that the obesity epidemic may not truly be an epidemic, and some of the solutions that we are using to remedy this issue may actually be perpetuating the problem and causing more harm than good. Let's first talk about how we define obesity. Obesity is based upon your BMI, which is your weight versus your height. It does not take into account other factors such as ethnicity, lean body mass, or bone structure. In fact, if we look solely at BMI, these following celebrities would be considered overweight or obese. So what are the numbers? What is the state of obesity in America? According to the American Journal of Medicine, between the years 2000 and 2008, which is the most recent data we have, the numbers of the rates of obesity have remained the same. That is, the weights in children, adults, teens have remained unchanged. The only exception to this is the heaviest boys ages 6 to 19. In fact, we actually found that obesity rates decrease in some populations, such as preschoolers in low-income neighborhoods. So we're concerned as a nation about obesity because of health, but in actuality, the BMI doesn't tell us much about health. It doesn't predict blood pressure, morbidity, or mortality. In fact, you can be of normal weight, overweight, or underweight and have poor eating and exercise habits. So if we're going to look at health as a nation, perhaps we need to look at more than just a number. For example, the World Health Organization defines health as a state of complete physical, emotional, and social health, not just the absence of disease or infirmity. If we're going to look at obesity as a nation, then we need to consider all facts, not just a number. Dieting is often seen as a solution to obesity. However, most diets don't work. And as a nation, we spend $60.9 billion a year on dieting. That's roughly equivalent to what our nation spends on national defense. And what the diet industry doesn't want you to know is that diets don't work. 95% of people who lose weight through dieting will regain that weight back in 1 to 5 years. We also know with teenagers is that weight control behaviors actually predicts weight gain. So if you have two teenagers that are the same starting weight, the one that engages in dieting behavior is more likely to end up gaining weight compared to the one that doesn't. So obviously dieting isn't a solution. So we are actually creating an environment in America where girls are not feeling good about themselves, especially in boys and girls. For example, we live in a nation where 80% of 10-year-olds are fearful of being fat, and 42% of first to third grade girls have a strong desire to be thinner. Although we don't know the mortality rate associated with BMI, we do know the mortality rate associated with eating disorders. And anorexia has the highest mortality rate out of any other psychiatric illness. And now we are seeing eating disorders in children as young as the age of 6, something we rarely saw 10 years ago. So what is the solution to this epidemic? I recommend that if we are going to share this information about obesity, that we be accurate in our information. I also suggest that if we are going to address weight issues as a nation, which I suggest we should, we do it accurately and holistically. We encourage healthy eating and healthy exercise habits, but we also realize not everybody's going to fit into a certain number on the scale. We want to create an atmosphere where children can feel good about themselves for who they are and not what they weigh. Thank you for your time. All the sources I used are on the last slide.